Hello everybody, SlimKirby here. Welcome back to more Let's Play Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Now, I know what I said in the last video, but I actually did find some time to work on this, so just ignore my announcement in the earlier episode, because there are actually going to be this episode and another episode today. I actually managed to find time to get that many episodes up. I'm actually kind of impressed with myself. So yeah, Chapter 16. It feels almost annoying to go through this a second time, because if you didn't watch the last video, because it was all dialogue and cutscene, let's just say that this was the second recording of this mission. I went through the mission originally, and then Jill got killed by an archer. Now I know what you're thinking, why was Jill in range of an archer? Well, to be honest, I actually checked the attack of the archer, and then I also attacked Jill's defense, and technically, Jill should have survived that. But instead, the archer decided to get a very lucky critical hit, and as a result, Jill died. So, and that was actually near the end of the chapter as well, so I had to redo this whole chapter basically over again. I'll just be careful in future episodes. I think there is one instance in this video where I get very scared because something happens, but thankfully I don't think it went wrong for me. It actually helped me. Well, it didn't really help me, but it didn't kill me, so whatever. So, don't really have much to say about this video so far. The beginning's pretty straightforward. You want to lead off with your lance users, like Jill, Gotri, Nethany, and any other lance users you have. If your Oscar isn't promoted yet, you might want to use him in this chapter. But Oscar is fairly easy to get to level 20 by the beginning of this episode, or this chapter. Speaking of promotions, I should actually have 2 promotions in this chapter. Well, one during the chapter near the end, and the other one at the very end of this series of videos. So we'll actually see both of the promotions in tomorrow's videos, but there will be promotions. Who's going to promote? I am not going to reveal that just yet, but if you have a general idea of what my levels are right now, you can probably guess who they are. So, last night, very, very interesting and sleepless night for me. Well, I went to bed around 2 a.m. I don't know why I was up that late to begin with. I guess it's because I was just laying down and couldn't get to sleep, and I was too busy watching YouTube videos, so that kind of prolonged me actually getting to sleep. So yeah, I probably shouldn't have stayed up that late, but what really made it a sleepless night was around 4 o'clock in the morning, I woke up to my roommate coming home. I guess my roommate had been going out and partying all night. And then he walked in at 4 a.m. He didn't wake me when he woke up, but he just made so much noise last night. He cooked something in the microwave. And keep in mind, this is a dorm room. This is one room, so the microwave's in the same room with me. And then, it's just one giant living space, but we share the same room, so he was just up, and he was cooking popcorn or something, and he was just like, I don't know why he was actually eating that late, especially if he was going to bed right after. Like, I know it's a fact you should never eat before you go to bed, because that'll really hurt your stomach. Anyways, so he made his popcorn, and he woke me up. So I was just laying there waiting for him to finish his popcorn, because he was making so much noise with the bag. I really wanted to just sit up and say, dude, be quiet, but I'm not really much for confrontations, and my roommate is so dumb, I really doubt he would be able to comprehend that to begin with. So yeah, he finished his bag of popcorn, and then he goes straight to sleep. 1 minute after he finishes his bag of popcorn, he's already asleep, and he's snoring. And I've shared the room with him for about, I want to say maybe 100 or 50 days, maybe maybe even close to 200 days. That is the first time he has ever snored. And he kept me up for like an hour because it was so loud. I didn't want to wake him up because, I don't know, again, not much for confrontation. And then also because I like to be polite. It's one of my faults, I guess. So he just started snoring so loud. It was the first time I've ever heard him snore. And he just, like, it was so loud. I have no idea. If he snores like that every night, I have no idea how I usually stay asleep. But I'll stop talking about how much I hate my roommate. I have like less than 3 weeks with him left. And it's not even going to be full weeks. He'll probably be gone a few weeks. He's actually leaving college early because his finals end before mine do. And then there's one weekend where I'm going home, so it's not exactly 3 weeks, but it's pretty much 3 weeks. It's, I think he's going home May 6th. I go home the 8th. So I'll have at least 2 full days to myself. But yeah, thankfully I'm getting a single room next year because these last 2 years with roommates have not worked out for me. I don't know, I just end up getting the stupidest guys on the face of the earth. My last roommate was actually pretty cool, but he made some stupid mistakes, but hey, we all do. So, as you can see, we're moving forward in Fire Emblem. I'm trying to give Soren some extra experience, as you could probably tell, because he's at level 20 right now, actually. Now, I originally planned to let him use the Master Seal, which he currently has in his possession, but then I realized that I'll probably be using Soren than I will be using Kieran in this video. I only brought Kieran to this level so we could take out the reinforcements, because on turn either 4 or 5, a bunch of reinforcements come from behind the entrance of where you started the chapter. And like there are 4 lance users, and that's like perfect for Kieran. Or Boyd, but since Boyd's already classed up, I decided not to bring him. So I'll let Kieran take care of those. And then by the time he finishes, he'll be like 1 kill away from level 20, so I'll just let Kieran use the Master Seal. Anyways, we now have to worry about how we're going to progress. There are 3 things we can do. We can charge it's not Oliver. I forgot the general's name, but it's Oliver's, I really don't want to say assistant, but one of his soldiers. He's the boss of this level, and he's a general. So we can either charge straight for him and ignore everything else. We can take this winding path over here so we can get to the other side of the mansion, steal some treasure, and then see if we can do anything about that Devden guy. And then there's also a locked door where the majority of my units are right now. That actually has some chests behind it. But be careful, because there are some units behind that door. There's, I believe it's a soldier with a killing edge, and there's also a Myrmidon. And, hey, you do not want to get on the receiving end of a killing edge. And also be careful here as well, because you don't want Jill to get on the receiving end of that steel bow that the one sniper has right now. So I make sure I check the range, and thankfully I did. I was getting ready to move Jill at the very end of that guy's range, but thankfully I did not do that. That would have really ticked me off if I did do that. I've already done the chapter twice so far. I did not want to restart again. And then I'll just bring up the bulk of my units up here. I'll figure out what to do with them next turn, because I gotta end the video in a few minutes. Let's see. Enemy phase. Go ahead, break your weapons upon Nephany, because I reckon she will do good. I've actually been thinking about, when I do the weapon forging video, where I show off how to do the weapon forging, I'm thinking about making a blade called the Reckoner, so I could give to Nethany, but instead of a Recon with a O, it'll be an I, so I reckon that, so the Reckoner. And I'm going to give credit to that to Hyrule Girl 9, who actually came up with that. But, unfortunately, I'm out of time. See you in the next video. SlimKirby out.